Am I connected? I believe so. Alright, ladies and gents, after what has felt like an eternity, we are finally back. Hopefully for good this time. The bike looks a bit different if you are even here from previous videos, but I was in a wreck on January 1st. Pretty bad. Had about 6-month recovery time before I was like fully, good, or as good as I can be without fully recovering. Whole bunch of garbage there. But my bike was damaged pretty bad. Basically, like the whole left side was torn out. Torn out, quote unquote. I had to redo the wires, radiator. Engine was completely untouched. That's the best you can hope for because that is the most expensive part of this. But the exhaust was damaged, front was damaged. Yeah, how's it going? But I do like it better now. I do think it looks a lot better. I think I had a little bit too much carbon on it before, mostly because of this front face I had in carbon before. But in my opinion, with the current full colored out, I think it is much better. But anyways, yeah, that's where I've been. I'm kind of forgetting what to say. I had like a whole, not really script, but I did put a questions thing on Instagram before I came here. So by the time I'm done here, I'll look at that, and then maybe there will be some Q&A at the end. Oh, the cool thing is, check this out. So I got a wireless mic set up now, which allows me to do this. How freaking cool is that, dude? So now I can take my camera off whenever I so please. Ooh, the mic keeps moving around in my face, though. I can get B-roll with this, dude. That's awesome. Make a quick little edit with my GoPro footage. Yeah, how freaking cool is that, dude? The fisheye is insane. There's a bike. I'll probably use this for thumbnail. Boom, thumbnail right there. Perfect. The mic is legit inside my helmet, kind of moving around on my face. So I need to find an alternative solution to this. I'm like eating the microphone right now. Yeah, anyways, welcome back to the channel. I'll hopefully be posting a bit more. I don't really plan on riding a whole lot in the videos. I talked to Will about it. William Kid Hilliam. He said he gets demonetized a lot, and I don't really like to ride crazy. At least not anymore because my accident, I'm quite a bit more cautious now. But any motion blur or anything tends to get demonetized. And not only that, but the videos of me talking would do better than videos of me even riding. However, I will still ride. Whew, excuse my heavy breathing. It's hot out. It's not too bad today. But without further ado, let's go for a little ride around the block, huh? I was gonna film this morning, but then I had some work I had to get done, which I had forgotten about. And I'll tell you what, this Houston weather, typically very humid, but as of right now, not humid at all. Holy pothole galore over here. So as a result, we get this very nice wind. I was sweating a little bit just standing there, but now that I'm moving, it is very nice. It would have looked better here in the morning too. The direct sunlight kind of makes everything look, I don't know, dead. We're just gonna do a little ride to a back road area. Buddy, can't go too fast back here. There's a lot of dirt. But also, let me know in the comments whether or not you'd like the talking or the riding. What the hell? Sorry for the loud bike. I am a little better at the talking content just because I don't really like to, haul ass on the highway like crazy. Not only is that kind of overdone now, but to me it's just not as fun. I never really enjoyed riding like that. I mean, you have your times, of course, you get the zoomies, but I've never particularly found it all that fun. But as far as I'm concerned, I just like having a nice bike because, look how good this looks. You know what I mean? Plus I get all the fancy bells and whistles that a leader bike would have, except cruise control. That's something that Yamaha does not like to do, apparently. Although, oh my gosh. But if I remember correctly, the new Yamaha R9 does have that. And sometimes cruise control would be enough to convince me to buy one. But I do very much like my R1. In my opinion, just an all-around great bike. It's a lot more fun to ride too. With like a standard inline 4, you know, you gotta rev it super high. It is faster, it's a lot faster, but it doesn't feel like you have that, you know, that torque, that power in the low end that this bike does. After riding inline 4s, it's just not as fun to me. I have no idea where I'm going right now. I'm kind of just trying to find a good spot to park, maybe in the shade or something. What is all that? Ooh, there's broken glass and stuff here. Someone had an accident, it looks like, pretty recently. Construction going on. Oh my gosh. Damn. Gonna have to stand up. What about in here? Is this busy? Maybe. Maybe not. Let's find out. Let's see if we get kicked out. Ooh, perfect. Look at that. Nice open spot for me. Look at that. Am I still rolling? I am. Very good. GoPro does make it a little bit difficult to open my visor. Ooh, that looks much, much better than it does in the direct sunlight, that's for damn sure. Look at that, dude. Rate this bike 1 through 10. Me personally, I'm at about a 9. I do still have some damage. For example, frame slider. I did get some new ones. I'm just waiting to bring it to a shop because last time, this side, when I took the original frame bolt out, the whole engine like shifted downward, and the hole was misaligned, so I couldn't even put this thing back in there. For that reason, I'm gonna wait till I bring it to a shop, and then I can do the other frame sliders. Is this working? How do I make the front screen turn on? Oh, that's so cool. I don't really want to have that happen again, so yeah, I'm waiting. Might even bring it tomorrow, but the other frame sliders that I'll be putting on are much more minimal because, in my opinion, this is a bit obnoxious. I suppose you can't really see on this camera, but they do stick out quite a bit on either side, almost as much as the winglets do, which, not ideal, because it's kind of ugly. Holy cow, I'm heavy breathing like mad right now. I can't talk this much. It was sort of like that before on my previous videos, but with all the hospital garbage, dude, it's bad. It was bad. I had all sorts of lung issues, breathing problems for months and months. But we're good now. I just have like weird rib problems, which I'm fairly certain is permanent. Obviously my spine. I'll probably do a separate video on the accident. But for now, I figured I might as well just, you know, reintroduce myself, so to speak. Me and the bike. Reintroduce myself to YouTube in general because, you know, it's been a minute. Now that it hasn't been too long, but let's see what Instagram had to say, shall we? Let me see if I can find a good place to mount the camera. Alright, I'm gonna hope this is good, just because I don't have another place to put it. Okay, we got not very many questions, but we do have a good one. Okay, yeah, this is a good one. Modsimoto, when are you gonna tell people we're dating? My dude. Rare says, what inspired you to build your bike? That is a good question. And coming from him, if you are familiar with Mr. R1 Rare, he also had an R1. Or now he has a old gen S1K. Or new gen S1K. The 2025. Which in my opinion looks insane, especially with what he's done with it. But, you know, I kind of just like having cool stuff. I'm a very, you know, picky person when it comes to making things look good. I wanted an R1 for a very long time, as it was, because I just kind of like how they look. So when I got this and I had it the original blue, I figured I would change it up a bit because it did not seem like it was my bike until I modded it. And now that I did mod it, you know, people will recognize it. This feels like me. This feels like my bike because I modded it. And obviously I have family and friends that mod their bikes too, like R1 Rare. So it does make it a lot easier to kind of get into just because I, you know people that do it. Yeah, I mean, it feels like my bike now. I mean, that's all there really is to it. I just like how it looks, and I liked modding it. I like building things. Grew up with Legos, as you would expect. Now, as a result, I have this beautiful bike. Look at that. Very nice color. It looks way better on camera than I thought it would. That's all I really have for you guys right now. But I'm back, hopefully for good this time. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.